She believed you would always be the constant, the one waiting at the end of every storm, the one proving his devotion. No matter how cold she turned or how many times she pushed you away, to her your patience was endless, your loyalty unquestionable, your pursuit guaranteed. But life has a way of teaching even the most stubborn souls a lesson. Something inside you shifted. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, it was quiet. A slow recognition that you no longer had to keep proving your worth to someone blind to it. And that moment, the moment you chose silence over pursuit, was the exact moment everything changed. Not when you argued. Not when you cried. Not when you poured your heart out in long paragraphs. What shook her to her core was the stillness that replaced the noise. Today let's explore why stopping the chase isn't weakness, but the greatest act of strength a man can embody. 1. Silence isn't empty. It's deafening. Most people expect chaos when they hurt you. Anger, outbursts, paragraphs of text, desperate calls. All of that noise feeds their ego, because your reaction is proof of their influence. But when you offer silence, the narrative shifts. Silence is unsettling because it leaves space for the mind to wander. It forces her to sit alone with the consequences of her actions. It makes her question herself. Did I push too far? Did I misjudge his devotion? Did I lose something I thought was permanent? Think of silence as the missing chapter in a novel. The story stops mid-sentence, and the reader can't let it go. That is the weight your absence carries. Silence doesn't mean you're weak. It means you've stopped feeding her power. 2. Power was never hers. You were loaning it out. Let's strip away illusions. She never actually had control. She borrowed it from you. Every time you chased after, she pulled away. Every time you doubled your effort when she withdrew hers, you were handing her power. True power is never something another person can take. It's only something you can give away. And the moment you decide to stop giving, the illusion collapses. Imagine a chessboard. For as long as you move your pieces, she's in the game. But fold the board, and suddenly there's no match left to play. When you stop engaging, she realizes her sense of control was never real. It existed only because you allowed it. 3. Raising the value of your energy. Before, she gave you crumbs. A lazy hey after ignoring you for days. A lukewarm check-in, and you treated it like a meal. That pattern told her she could offer the bare minimum and still keep you hooked. But now you've raised your standard. Your energy, your time, your presence, they have value. And value demands investment. Just like no one respects a concert if admission is free, no one cherishes attention that costs nothing. The moment you stop rewarding half-effort, she's forced to face a new reality. Access to you is earned, not assumed. That shift cuts deeper than any words, because it reveals you've stepped into your true worth. 4. She tastes the coldness she once served you. Remember the waiting, the unanswered texts, the feeling of being invisible. She made you swallow that pain, and you still chased. But now the tables have turned. She reaches out and gets silence. She sends a signal, and it fades into emptiness. And that stings, not because you're punishing her, but because she always assumed you'd be the one who never stopped showing up. This isn't revenge. This is balance. The universe has a way of making people drink from the same cup they once served others. 5. Your growth becomes the loudest statement. Your silence isn't hollow. It's filled with movement. While she wonders why you stopped chasing, you're building. You're hitting the gym. You're chasing your craft. You're investing in your purpose. You're sharpening your mind and surrounding yourself with people who match your energy. Growth is the most undeniable response. It communicates without words. I no longer orbit around you. I orbit around my mission. And one day she'll see it, maybe through a mutual friend, maybe scrolling late at night, maybe by accident. She'll realize the man she thought would always wait has become someone untouchable. And nothing stings more than seeing someone you once took for granted transform beyond your reach. 6. Closure is a luxury, not a right. When she pulled away, she didn't give you explanations. No closure, no answers. She left you with questions. And now you don't owe her what she never gave you. Imagine watching a 3-hour movie, fully invested, only for the screen to cut to black before the ending. The mind craves resolution. It aches for it. When you give her nothing, no dramatic goodbye, no last fight, no desperate speech, you deny her the closure she assumed she was entitled to. And that denial echoes louder than any final words could. 7. Cutting off emotional access for a long time. Even in silence, she believed she still lived in your head. She assumed you were watching her stories, checking her updates, waiting for her return. But when you stop watching, stop reacting, stop caring, she feels a shift. She no longer has a window into your emotions. She's been erased from your world, and nothing haunts a person more than realizing they've lost access to someone who once gave them everything. 8. She will test. You will not bend. She will come back. It might be a casual "hey," a late night, "I miss you," or even a tearful apology. But understand this, it's not a rebirth, it's a test. A test to see if the old version of you still exists. The true shift happens when you don't take the bait. When you refuse to step back into the same dynamic she once controlled. That's when the realization hits. She hasn't just lost your attention, she's lost you. 9. Indifference is the final stage of power. Anger isn't victory. Bitterness isn't victory. Even her regret isn't the real win. The ultimate victory is indifference. When her name comes up and it doesn't stir you. When her texts land and you don't flinch. When her presence no longer defines your emotions. That's freedom. That's peace. People don't regret when you cry. They regret when you've stopped caring. By the time she realizes that, you'll be so far ahead, building your life, chasing your vision, and writing a story where she no longer plays a role. Walking away is not losing. Silence is not weakness. Refusing to chase is not failure. These are the acts of a man who has remembered his worth. The moment you stop being an option is the moment you become a man of value. And the right woman, the one who respects you, who cherishes you, who chooses you freely, will never demand you prove yourself by begging for scraps of her attention. She will recognize your worth instantly. So keep building, keep growing, keep walking forward. Let silence and progress be your loudest reply. Because once you stop chasing, you don't just get her attention back, you get yourself back. And that is the real victory.